teaching how to swim was to toss you out in the middle of the turn hole. And he said sink or swim. And really, he used the word. He was always there to protect you, but he had an effective way of teaching. And I remember also in 1976, 1976, I think it was, they came out to visit us in Colorado. And Jean is the most honest person. I mean, I think we're all honest, but Jean is really honest.
She don't fudge any, huh?
And I remember the speed limit was 55 miles an hour in 1976. Barry had a brand new Blazer, and he put oversized tires on it. And he would try to sneak above 55 miles an hour, and I kept, and every time he snuck above 55, he'd say, Gene would say, Barry, you're going over the speed limit. And I remember how I kept wondering where they were. And then, it was taking them forever to get there. And then I finally took them down to the great sand dunes in southern Colorado. And I was in my car leading them. And they said, I kept having to slow down and wait. And finally, I pulled over to the side. And I went back to the car. And I said, we're never going to get there. It's an 8-hour drive. We're never going to get there if we don't go. She said, I don't care how fast you go, we're not exceeding the speed limit. I said, Gene, I'm going the speed limit. Turns out they had driven 45 miles an hour all the way from West Virginia to Colorado because of those oversized tires. We were going to use the microphone, but I think we won't. And I should have memorized these words, but I didn't. So we're going to sing Supper Time. Again, there's many, many fond memories of growing up here in West Virginia and places here where there are now homes, nice homes built. Me and my buddies used to play cowboy and Indians, or cops and robbers. And I remember many times my mother coming out and saying, it's time for supper. Sure. No, well, actually, I really will sing to them. We'll do this is dedicated to them, so we'll just kind of sing to them anyway. Many years ago, in days of childhood, I used to play till evening shadows come. Then winding down an old familiar pathway, I heard my mother call that set of sun. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lean fun fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. That's a promise we all have. One day beside her bedside I was kneeling, and angel wings were willowing the air. She heard the call for supper time in heaven, and now I know she's waiting for me there. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lean from fast. Come home, it's supper supper time. We're going home at last. In visions now I see her standing yonder, and her familiar voice I hear once more. The banquet table's ready up in heaven. It's supper time upon the golden shore. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. We're going home at last. Another song that's dear to our hearts is Because He Lives. God sent His Son, they call Him Jesus. He came to love, heal and forgive. And died to buy life pardon. An empty grave is left to prove my Savior lives. Because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all fear is gone. Because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives. While Micah and Marcia are coming up, and I'd like you to just stand right here if you would. I'd like for you, each of you, to think about the first time you held your baby or a baby. And just keep those words of this next verse, think about them as we're singing. The first time you held a baby. And we're going to sing to Marcia and Jean prayer. How sweet to hold a newborn baby and feel the pride and joy he gives, and greater still the calm assurance this child can face uncertain days because he lives. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because he lives. On this last verse, when we get to the chorus, if you know it, feel free to sing with us. And then one day I'll cross the
2 pounds and 5 ounces. Got down to under 2 pounds. Now he's 16 and a half pounds. I thank God every day for him. And pray for Marcia as she's expecting again in October, that she'll have a real healthy baby. Marcia and Shane, they're good parents.